Oh my gosh. Oh, no way.
Oh my God.
That's cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they literally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so cute.
Thank you to Huel for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a bit.
Wingardium Leviosa and citizens of the Reject Nation. You thought you were done with us? We thought we were done with you. Just kidding, we're never done with you.
Nope.
And today, just like Harry Potter, we are having our own reunion because it's the Harry Potter 20th anniversary reunion special. Return to Hogwarts. I had a cheat sheet, and then it went dark. Harry Potter 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts.
There we go.
This is the 2022 special. You guys give us so much fun trivia and just different things afterwards that made us really curious. And then we just decided as a team that we wanted to watch this so that we could be more informed on all things Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
So thanks for being on this journey with us and continuing to grace Hogwarts with our presence.
Yes.
Or our presence. Hogwarts is gracing us with their presence.
Yeah.
Some of that. In the interest of full disclosure, this is kind of weird, but I watched this for work in 2022 without knowing the Harry Potter movies. Work asked me to cover it. I was kind of curious about it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that much because it didn't really sink in with me because I didn't know those scenes. But I do know that there are a lot of different talking heads in this and some that are more controversial than others. And I'm sure we will talk all about that throughout and afterwards. But I also know that this meant a lot to a lot of people who have been waiting a long time. So I'm excited to get to it. LJ, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited to, I want to have the warm and fuzzies when I watch this.
Yeah.
Even though we just watched it, you know?
Yeah, it's weird to have a reunion.
Yes.
Like the 20th anniversary special, and we're like 20 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm excited to watch this, and I just want to see what they cover. But yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited as well. I'm sad to end this journey, but I'm glad we have this one last hurrah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what the people want us to cover next. So don't forget to let us know. But without further ado, shall we?
I got it.
You're way better with the remote than I am. This we've learned over 8 movies. Shall we go to Hogwarts? I'm glad they're doing a Dumbledore quote to start. He had the best quotes in the whole franchise.
Yeah, he did. Very profound philosophical witticisms. Is that Emma Watson?
Certainly looks like her.
Oh, Hagrid actor.
I wish we got.
Oh!
Do you know what's crazy? I don't know Neville's name.
His real name? Yeah, neither do I. Yeah.
Here's what I will say. That is one handsome gent.
Yeah, definitely.
Neville proves if you're a good person, you age gracefully.
There you go.
I have no idea if the human is nice. Oh, look at all their invitations. Cute.
Oh.
Matthew Lewis.
You'll never forget that one. This is charming.
I wonder how she picked her nails for this. Have you seen a lot of Emma Watson in other things?
I've seen her in Perks of Being a Wallflower. There's
Beauty and the Beast?
Yes. And I think that's it. There was another movie that...
This is the end or whatever.
Oh, she was like a cameo. Yeah. Playing herself, which is pretty cool. Oh my gosh.
Gary G. Oldman. Oh my God, Ginny.
Oh my gosh. And Luna.
Love.
Oh, Helena Bonham Carter.
What a wink, Helena. They haven't shown our 2 guys yet.
Not yet.
Have you seen a lot of Daniel Radcliffe?
Not really, other than Swiss Army Man, which I love. How cool is this? This is so cool. I imagine how fun this was.
To film?
Yeah.
To come back to this place?
It's like a high school reunion, but cooler.
It feels very Bridgerton inspired. In all of our years at Hogwarts, I don't remember ballroom dance.
Oh!
Oh, it's nice to see them hug.
Yeah.
Such enemies, always. We're really leading heavy into Hermione, to Emma. Oliver Phelps, James Phelps. All right, Jason Isaacs, oh yeah. Rupert Grint, let's go. It's so crazy. He had an amazing career after this, too. He barely spoke. Tom Felton. Bonnie Wright. I did not know her name either.
Neither did I, yeah.
I can't wait to see Daniel Radcliffe's name. Why am I excited for that? Yes, Matthew Lewis getting all of the credit. I wonder if people because we haven't got to see your guys' reaction to our videos yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if people love him the way that I love him.
Right.
I have no idea.
Wow.
I like that they list their houses too.
Yeah.
Oh, Alfonso Cuarón, David Yates. Yeah,
All the
they got-
directors.
I wonder how Gary Oldman thinks about this in terms of his career.
Yeah.
Like, is he like,
Relative to
this is
other
a
things?
huge moment for me? Or is
Or
he
like,
just
it was like, whatever.
I guess I'll come back for the reunion for the Harry Potter thing I did.
Yeah. Oh, here he is.
I'm glad we didn't go with the long, shaggy hair.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't know that at this very moment, people meeting in secret
So did they rebuild the set?
I know, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
and saying in hushed voices to Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
are these in chapters or something? Oh. Okay.
I wonder if Harry Potter and Elijah Wood are friends.
Yeah, right?
So nice to see you.
First and second director.
He set this tone for everything.
How did it come to you? Like, I would never get to ask this question.
Oh my God, he doesn't know.
My daughter Eleanor convinced me to read the book.
Oh.
So once Prisoner of Azkaban came out, I
Thank you,
said,
Eleanor.
okay, I'll read these. And then immediately I saw the movies. I just saw them. Then I had to fly to Edinburgh to meet Joe Rowling and essentially said,
Oh, they call her Joe.
this is my vision. She said, that's exactly the way I see the movie.
When the books came out, the queues of kids around the block.
Whoa, for the books? I mean, I get it, but
You don't remember that?
I kind of do, but not like.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was a huge deal.
People were beginning to fall in love with J.K. Rowling's writing.
I think I probably would have been about 8 years old. The first one came out. It became like our family thing. My dad used to do all the voices.
That's cool.
My brother and I just became obsessed.
That is cool.
We would just beg him, keep going, and every time we finished a chapter, be like, one more, please.
At the time of reading, we instantly related to Fred and George because there aren't
Oh
many
my
twins.
God. I can't believe that he did this.
It was so
Right.
vivid, the characters so relatable.
It was such an intricately, perfectly designed universe.
I think it's very easy to forget that at the time people were talking about like the death of reading.
And then in terms of casting, the search for Harry Potter was insane.
Harry Potter film are looking for children to play the 3 main roles.
They do open casting calls.
I remember going to the very first audition and there was hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Good Lord.
And then we realised that we were the only set of twins there who weren't wearing identical clothing. So we ended up going over the road, identical matching tops.
That's funny.
Just off the rack. They were like, right, they will do.
Wow.
Well, apparently it worked.
So they seemingly walked away. And of course, while there's still one gentleman holding a boom mic straight over our head. And this little girl asked me, what's that? I think he even said, it's a mic, duh. I was like, they're filming us. This is just like a trick, like as if I'd done it before, really. I remember it because it was Emma.
That's wild. It's a mic, duh.
I always knew that I was going for Hermione.
She is like the most perfect casting ever.
I think the biggest pressure at the beginning was who was going to be Harry Potter.
And it was getting kind of weird.
My hotel room in London, one night watching the BBC version of David Copperfield. This is the kid we've been looking for months. So I asked the casting director, I said, we've got to get him in here for an audition. She said, it's never going to happen. His parents do not want him
no.
in this world. They don't want him to take this role.
The
Why?
deal was to sign on for like all 7 films and they would be filmed in LA. So mum and dad were like, no, that's like a huge disruption to his life.
And ours.
Yeah.
David, being the great producer that he is, convinced Dan's father to bring Dan in for an audition.
He's probably just
Wow.
like, just read.
Just read for it. Yeah.
That's a dragon egg.
What is it?
That's what that is.
What is that?
Dragon egg.
Oh.
You're really sweet, but you looked like you had real like stuff going on.
That's hilarious.
We screen tested the 3 of them together to make sure that they all had this chemistry, which immediately was obvious.
Look at Rupert. His eyebrows.
I checked this out first term for a bit of light reading. This is light. Shut up. If Phil just comes around the corner any second now, at least 50 points off Gryffindor.
Diction is perfect.
Right?
It's crazy.
Oh, you're so talented at such a young age.
Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Sorcerer's Stone. The what? Oh, honestly, don't you two read?
Good job.
Her face.
Hell yeah.
She's like, I know.
How do we all feel being back and talking about this?
But A, really emotional.
Oh.
And B, it feels like no time has passed and loads of time has passed.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like much time has passed. It doesn't feel like we kind of earned a reunion yet.
Right?
Do you guys see each other?
I have had kidney stones and a baby.
Kidney stones and a baby.
Feel my age.
But there is like such a collection of like shared memories. The day we all met, me walking out of my dressing room and seeing like another like young brown-haired boy going the other way.
I do remember that when it was the three of us, something felt different and like right.
Cool.
I do remember the click.
Nice.
We've been out of the studio. There's be a lot of media outside your house, so you can't go home.
So far, it's sort
What?
of turned things upside down. I don't know, I've never had anything happen to me like this before.
Of course not. You're a child.
Sense to me. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really are.
Arguably the smartest person on the set.
Oh my God.
Of course.
She was a brilliant kid.
I think I'm scarily like my character. So I live in a family of 7.
Oh.
Wow.
I've got a red-headed sister and I live in a burrow.
Kind of was Harry.
How do you feel about becoming famous?
Be cool.
Comfortable. You made us all in our auditions.
Well, on the first film, I was dying. Everyone to feel like it's a family. I want everyone to feel like they're home.
I wonder if Daniel came up with these questions or the producers are asking him what to ask. It feels very natural.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's also got to be so weird to sit down with the director that you had when you were 8 years old or
Right.
7 years old, whatever. Now to ask him questions as an adult, so strange.
Yeah. It's like revisiting a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, class, listen to me. Welcome to your first flying lesson. The first several weeks on the film, the kids are basically in shock. Look up, like you're going to get it, okay?
And him under the stairs.
They kept us having fun the whole time. Obviously, we were just kids. And
That's cool.
we were all looking forward to mucking about together. We were very much just like kids being kids on a set. You know what we did a lot of as well was that.
Oh my God, so
slaps.
much.
That's cool.
All of us like red, like
Yeah.
red
I think we
raw
also
hands from,
upgraded
like,
to
kissing each
Newell,
other
and we're like-
really hard.
Oh, and shins.
Ow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Such actual kids.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Disney Channel movies and Nickelodeon and stuff, everything that's come out about that.
Yeah.
Trap, darling, don't put it on your nose.
Our attention would wane and come and go.
That's fair.
So happy to be in a Harry Potter film that they couldn't contain their excitement.
That's hard.
What had he done before with kids?
Oh, Home Alone? I mean, well, just one.
He was such a dad as well. Like, and you could really feel that. Like,
That makes sense.
You'll just be talking. You know what I'm saying? You go up and you're like frozen like this, but you
But it's not easy because it takes a tremendous amount of patience with kids, particularly with kids as hyperactive.
I like need to meet him.
Yeah.
Work with
Definitely.
him. Like I love him.
Snuck away. Couple of Gryffindors.
Look
kicking
at you.
it. Come here.
I guess
we were all like 11.
You might get like 3 people to do the right thing.
Oh yeah, 11.
And Rupert was relentless. Once he started, once the floodgate opened, kids.
True.
I never recall feeling like we're working.
No.
That's cool.
That's why it feels that way when you watch it. It feels like kids.
Doesn't feel like any child actor say this.
I know.
I thought Richard Harris worked here as a tour guide for a while.
That's so funny.
I don't think any of the kids had the capability of understanding the gravity of
Yeah, definitely. Of course not.
And with Dumbledore gone.
Good afternoon.
the British royalty of the acting world.
Yeah, for real.
The people that I got to just grow up around and hear.
Maggie Smith.
That's actually great. He was such a kid, like, so immature.
And he was incredibly good at it.
I tried absolutely everything. I tried shaving. Every moment I woke up, it's like...
This voice is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we spent so much time together.
I know, my own children.
I know, wild.
Whoa. That is a trip.
His face.
I get called a mudblood.
Yes.
And he was so sweet with me that day.
Yeah.
Big piece of acting.
Oh.
It means dirty blood. Mudblood's a really foul name for someone who's muggle-born. Someone like me.
Oh.
You felt like you actually entered the world.
Yeah.
With all of Stuart Craig's sets.
Yeah.
See, like when I watched this, none of this meant anything.
Right.
It's a world that couldn't exist in reality.
The very first time I visited the set, they walked me through the Great Hall, which was...
It's interesting, this filmed in 2019.
Yeah.
So separate.
Yeah.
A lot of those scenes with 250 extras, and they're all about 18 and...
One of my favourite moments on set ever was the moment when all the floating candles started burning through the ropes that
Whoa.
falling around the Great Hall.
Hundreds of real candles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember
Much
this.
of that would be visual effects now. The fact that we got to actually be
that's
on
so
that
true.
set.
That's so cool.
Practical.
We love you, Stuart Craig.
I don't know if they're going to say this, but do you know if their production design was nominated for an Oscar?
Oh, must have been, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
And the audience had to understand the rules immediately.
Each team has 7 players.
Is it? Okay.
So Joe Rowling basically did a rule book for us, explaining every detail of the game.
That's crazy.
Then, with Stuart Craig, our production designer, designed the look of the Quidditch pitch.
Pretty incredible, the world Stuart was able to create. I wonder what else he's done.
Right.
You say, we're not going home, not really.
Feels strange to
Nah.
go. I'm not going home. Not really.
Oh, he shot that on day 2 or 3?
Yeah.
This kid is an amazing actor. And it was that moment. The first film is very storybook, very inviting.
Yeah.
And why man I melt a man's face.
Yeah. The first film was a hit.
Yep.
Not only the film, but accepted the cast.
Right, yeah.
I had a ball on the second film because I was like, free.
Nice.
Yeah, and he knew that he was doing a good job.
Yeah.
Weasley family values.
That's funny.
So I know the first actor that played Dumbledore passed before the third movie, but did the second actor, did he pass before this?
Good question.
You haven't seen him.
Yeah.
The thing about the boroughs I remember is that it changed all the time. It sort of expanded.
Whoa.
One minute there was a huge fireplace for flue powder. And
Yeah, it was like a living, breathing set. It felt like so special having an actual extra.
Yeah.
Julie Walters, who played my mother, Mrs. Weasley, took me under her wing, and she just was like the perfect mother.
Cool.
Her amazing casting too.
Really were like older brothers.
All the Weasleys.
They were like my second family. They were always kind of staying in character, and they would have this kind of bounce off each other.
Dumbledore must know you're here.
That's cool.
Doesn't work.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
The kids probably felt so great when the adults made mistakes. They probably loved it.
Lucius Malfoy.
I was first aware of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how Jason Isaacs got involved.
Yeah.
I went to audition for Gilderoy Lockhart, and
Oh.
it was great. Would you mind reading a different part? And I read through gritted teeth, deeply bitter. Of course, that's exactly what was necessary, and they asked me to play Lucius, and thank God they did.
Yeah, you were perfect.
The point of him being in the story to me was to explain why Draco was such a horrible.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Draco, and he's got really bad. All right, they're mate. You're gonna be lovely and very huggy.
Isn't he beautiful?
If your dad is a psychopath wielding a cobra cane out there.
It's interesting because Harry's parents
were
amazing, but they were dead. So, he was raised by his aunt and uncle, and they suck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's for the nature versus nurture stuff.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
In fact, working with Jason was not always a treat. Turned into the most
I just remember grabbing him and constantly seeking my approval. The very first scene that I
It was
shot,
a deleted scene now.
Draco touched something, and I used this cane, and I went,
whoa.
But I didn't know how sharp the teeth were. And they went right into the...
Oh my gosh.
Looked up at me, and his eyes welled with tears.
Yes, Father.
And I went, Tom, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how... It's all right. The scene.
Oh, damn.
And he'll come and give you a cuddle and say, "Oh, did I hit you too hard? Did I hit you too hard?" Real, Jekyll and Hyde.
I imagine.
He was amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Harry. Have they even mentioned the casting director?
No, I don't think so.
In Harry Potter, and the squeals, complete despair at my not understanding.
His Dobby voice is so solid.
Yeah, perfect.
So annoying,
Yeah.
and also like you feel for them.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened? And I said, I kicked Dobby down the stairs.
That's funny. Jason.
Jeez.
And I just thought, this is going to be ridiculously good fun.
Absolutely.
Chris thought he slipped. That's amazing.
Mr. Malfoy, I have something of yours.
Sock is pathetic, isn't it, on one level, but on another level, it's everything.
Yes.
Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby is free.
Yeah.
Greatest laughs together with Richard Harris.
I remember. Wow.
Richard came in and looked at the Phoenix and said, "Oh, they train these animals marvelously."
Camera inside the eye, so they could see Richard looking at it, and then they were like, "Well,"
That's so cool.
So they didn't tell him?
got into a cycle where Richard
That's
was
so
like, "The bird
cool.
is responding to me."
Oh my God.
Fascinating creatures, Phoenix.
That's hilarious.
No tears.
healing powers?
No, we never told him.
No.
We just thought it was a real bird.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
Well, that makes me feel great. I've always felt guilty about leaving. I really did.
Oh, was he asked back?
I can't believe I'm leaving these guys.
Why did he?
So thank you so much.
It's been the greatest experience of my life.
Cool.
I wonder if he was supposed to do the third and didn't.
But what they grow to be.
Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Aw.
Oh, Gary's laugh. How is all this set?
I know.
Sirius Black is an essential character for Harry.
We have a killer on the loose.
But what's he got to do with me?
And yet, when Harry learned that he's not who he has been told he was,
Another theme.
and Gary is such a remarkable actor, potential for darkness,
Right.
but he has such soul.
It must have been a straight offer, right?
I would imagine.
Can I ask you when were you first approached?
Yeah.
Be serious.
I think at the time he was the main attraction.
I bet.
For Azkaban, it's a coming of age
Ugh.
threshold between childhood and their teenage years. First two, Harry is still a child.
Fonzo. Damn.
Nevertheless, when he turns 13, that overshadows everything around Harry. And we needed to convey that also stylistically.
That's fair.
And they did.
Absolutely.
What's going on?
This movie was so brilliant.
Hell yeah.
I love Christopher Columbus, but I don't know that he would have been the perfect director for this movie.
one, yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban felt like a whole new era. Really.
Absolutely, I agree.
A much darker.
Very scary. And I really wanted to convey an essence of Harry.
I wonder how the actors felt about him.
Yeah.
Azkaban. How old were you?
14.
Really? When we first met?
Yeah.
Are you going to kill me, Harry?
I remember you giving me the Gary chat. Like, listen, Emma, you need to be cool.
which was really a projection of my own fears, because I was like...
Of course.
I mean, he is the biggest of the bigs.
Yeah, yeah.
And Gary was amazingly generous. It was really sweet to see the two of them. And it was almost as if it was mirroring that relationship.
Yeah, we could feel that.
Yeah, definitely.
You saw them between takes, sitting with each other. You could see in the way that Dan looked at Gary, the adulation.
Oh.
That's so cool.
Being like, this is acting, guys. This is what we all need to be working towards.
Oh, absolutely.
Paul, the one and only Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Miss Hewlett, you, Emma, Rupert.
It's really nice of you to include me, Emma and Rupert, in that.
Let's kill him! Wait! I did my waiting!
I have never done a scene with such an amazing cast in my life.
Good thing I didn't remember any of this stuff. When it doesn't mean anything,
right?
It just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Rupert and Emma and Dan, that they are completely committed to the scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved the character of Sirius. I love the relationship Harry and Sirius have. He's like this cool...
He's painted as this villainous guy, and then has the switch.
It's cool how into this Gary is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we only ever found out book.
Yeah, book.
I don't know whether you were, because you were
not.
Harry Potter,
Just written.
you had a...
Oh my God, the books were coming out as the movies were coming out?
That's a trip.
Very early said to Joe, he was like, I think I need to know what happens.
So he was the only one who knew?
Rickman would have an in, wouldn't he?
Did, yeah. Chris would literally say to him, why are you doing that like that? He said, I'll tell you later.
Oh, I wish he was here for an interview.
I know.
That's so sad.
On a need-to-know basis.
Wait a decade.
Dan was not a child.
I didn't realize that.
Right, right.
And he was the first one who, assigned us homework.
That's right.
So he set us this exercise where he asked us to write an essay.
Oh, they told us about this.
Yes.
I feel like you pretty much covered everything. Like, Joe's written a good 500 pages about this. But...
Of course, Emma writes 12, beautifully written.
Rupert didn't deliver anything. And I said, Rupert, where's your assignment? He says, well, I thought that Ron wouldn't do it.
Perfect.
I mean, luckily, Alfonso kind of saw that it was very in character for me not to have done it.
That's so cool.
When you're doing the scenes, it's as if everything is just flowing out of her.
Because of her preparation.
Right.
I wonder if any of them had crushes on each other in
Oh,
real
yeah.
life.
Especially at that age. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They were around our age, right?
For 14.
Oh.
Here?
No. Well, they were born around our age.
Oh, I
Back
understand.
No, not, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm kind of curious their age. Let me look.
I think Emma is around our age.
So Daniel's 36.
Oh, wow. He's my age. Wow.
Emma is 36.
Okay.
Rupert is 37.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I'm 34.
Okay.
Very young.
Very.
The scenes and to be surprised. Like I remember seeing the Beauxbatons come and do their entrance and the Durmstrang.
This was very cool.
Yeah.
And they were probably so excited to get like new kids on set.
True.
Mike is just this excited. He was a perfect director for that film. It was a really like bombastic.
Cool, yeah.
I love Mike. He was great. I mean, he was almost like he was from the books.
Oh, that's cool.
The fourth book is the biggest of them. It's about 900 pages. It's a doorstop.
Jeez.
What else has he directed?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
He's just this kind of like firecracker of energy who gets so excited by things. And there was this kind of.
That's so cool.
4 Weddings and a Funeral. Donnie Brasco. Yeah, we looked
That's
at
right.
that.
We did. We looked this up. Yeah.
I remember things changed when Columbus left. It was definitely a bit of a different.
It was a different vibe.
Mike's
treating us like adults.
They didn't seem to talk about Alfonso as much,
Yeah.
any of them. I
Yeah.
wonder if Alfonso just like really focused on, like wasn't like focused on the vibe and just
Right.
doing the job as interesting. It's one of our favorite movies.
Yes.
George, rejected from entering the Triwizard Tournament, and then we had these wigs on and beards on.
These two were sort of prissing about at it.
Mike just came over and said, no.
Okay, who wants to fight?
What's the fight?
Well, of course, I was a tubby 60-year-old
Oh my
gentleman.
And like, just went like this. To which I said, oh, okay. So I did the same to him.
Oh no.
I remember gripping him round the waist and cracked a couple of ribs.
Oh my gosh.
Absolute agony from then on.
Shut up.
Holy crap.
Complete twit of myself. And everybody felt much better for that.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Rib.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
In The Goblet of Fire, that film is just all about teenagers
Yeah.
having crushes for the first time.
And did any of you guys on set?
Yeah, well, let's find out.
As a teenager, and they really felt like that too, because we were literally having the same experiences.
Tell us more.
I know, please. Give me the.
We had that kind of older brother, younger sister thing.
But you're the same age.
Yeah.
There was crushes and people went out with each other and broke up and just like you're doing.
Oh, no way.
It was exactly the same environment, but it was just in a Defense Against the Dark Arts class.
That film was probably peak hormone, at least for me.
Oh gosh, that scene.
And especially like the fourth film was the one with like the Beauxbatons and the Durmstrang.
Oh, yeah.
Bring in 2 massive groups of new people.
Yeah.
All of them are like purposefully hot for the film. Wrote him very endearingly in those years, and I feel like it did not take a huge acting stretch.
Fair.
Awkward, nerdy teenage side.
I just wondered if maybe you want to go to ball with me.
It obviously was a coming-of-age story.
Yeah.
Why do I care so much who dated on
I
set?
know. I want to know.
All right, I'm going to look.
The scene when the students are learning to dance.
Maggie's right in the middle, and she says, right, I'm going to teach you to dance.
So awkward.
Place your right hand on my waist.
Self-conscious of it, I didn't really know. I'd never danced with a lady.
Oh my God.
A very new thing.
Never gonna let him forget this, are you?
Never. We were winding him up. We were winding up anyway before we started filming.
Okay.
It kind of convinced me.
We'll read it after, but I got tea.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Team plan.
We were like, oh, do you know your steps? Right?
The twins look the most different
Yeah.
now.
One of the most enchanting days was the Great Ball, because there was all these incredibly beautiful young people, perfectly dressed.
Costume designer crushed this.
Yeah.
All I can remember is that like really aggressive 6-layer collar thing you had
Oh, the
on.
little frill thing, yeah.
Frills.
I loved it. It was kind of,
Yeah, it's perfect.
I pulled it off. A lot of people could pull it off.
Yeah.
Did you?
Incredible dress, and me and Rupert looked like, I don't know, Austin Powers.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I think that Harry looked so dapper.
Yeah.
I think for the first time.
But yeah, Emma looked
Harry and
gorgeous.
Ron, particularly Ron.
Like if that was your daughter coming downstairs, you'd feel
Right.
so proud.
I mean, everyone can kind of relate to that. That's what I kind of love about these stories.
They really do
Yeah.
for being magic stories.
Right.
I knew it was a big deal, and I was miserable.
Ah.
It was the like duckling becomes a swan moment.
Why was she miserable?
Mike Newell coached me to walk down the stairs in the dress. Pretty much. You're walking too quickly. You need to walk slower.
Yeah, she seems so uncomfortable.
Right.
Of course, I fell down the stairs.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Started. Emma and I have always loved each other.
Oh!
The assignment that had been given was to draw what you thought God looked like.
It was a school assignment? Oh, I love him.
I used to come in every day and look for his number.
I'm so happy to hear the tea.
He was 3 years above me. And so for him, he was like, you're like my little sister.
I didn't realize he was 3 years older.
Yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for her, and that continues to the day.
Oh!
Oh my gosh!
Nothing has ever happened romantically with us. We just love each other. That's all I can say about that.
Well, you guys should get married, so I don't know what to tell you. You should be married.
Oh.
Together. 1, 2, 3.
We're going to have to do some Googling on that.
Yeah, for real. There's got to be something.
Because I believe her.
Yes.
And yet, you should clearly be together.
Yeah.
Because I think I heard an interview of hers talk about why she's single or something.
Voldemort.
He who must not be named.
I cast Ray
Is he going to be in this?
I would hope so.
potent actors of his generation.
Yes, he is.
And I knew that
For
he
real.
had force of personality.
My sister had
Oh,
children
yeah.
with her. Then I said, Martha, I don't know about this.
Uncle of the year.
What's that?
What's that?
To play Voldemort.
You've
got to do it.
It was a straight offer also, yeah, of course. Him in 28 Years Later recently. Did you watch him?
No, I didn't see any of the 20 years, or the newer 20 year, or 28
Oh,
days.
my God.
Yeah. I've heard he's really amazing.
It rivals Voldemort,
Wow.
his role.
So there was the voice, the sort of snake-like whispered, a sort of whispering voice. Breath on breath.
He can still find it. It's great.
Damn.
Come to die. The best way to do that was to take his nose off.
He does have a nose. Spoiler alert.
I wonder if that was in the books.
Right.
It took about 3 hours in makeup, the painting of the hands, the nails, the teeth.
I thought
Wow.
that was practical.
Yeah, yeah. Some sort of.
But how
way.
would you do that? Yeah.
Strong. It felt powerful. It felt evil.
What was
Oh, is he going to be in this?
that you assume is going to be very important in the story is Cedric Diggory.
Yeah.
Cedric is killed, and Harry, he manages to take the body and crash land.
So this was before Twilight.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then he realizes that the kid is dead, howls like a dog.
It's my boy!
Yeah, that's a heartbreaking scene.
It's such a massive scene because it is also the first time Harry sort of feels that kind of death of somebody young close to him.
Right.
The moment of Cedric Diggory's death, now the children have left childhood and are going
That makes sense.
The three of them, they're in adversity, and that forges friendships, as we know.
Oh, definitely.
But why didn't Emma and Tom get married?
I would have a crush on Emma Watson. I get it.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
It's so nice of you to let us do this in your house.
I know,
Nah.
it's so nice. You know what I've always wanted to do?
They're so cute.
Oh, look, they really don't look very well.
They're all still here.
Oh, wow.
I mean, has anyone fed them? This is so sad.
They weren't.
Yeah. I thought they were, little people that were cast.
Yeah, or like with prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
There must have been some of them in the background like that. I don't know.
Last night, I thought, I'm going to just dig up these things
Oh
and
God, what did I write?
look, read it out. It's so nice to see you. Yeah.
It was a pleasure being your co-star and coaster. Wow, what a clever.
That's funny.
I do love you, and I just wish I'd been born 10 years earlier. I might have been here with a chance.
It's all right now.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious.
I understand having a crush on Helena Bonham Carter.
Absolutely.
Too. Like, come on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I was in film number 5, Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Look, I got my teeth. It was 11 years and
Wow.
yeah, it smells a bit whiffy.
Just gonna put them right in your mouth.
Okay. There you go.
Do you remember me?
I remember this. Yeah.
Wow. She's funny. I want to see her in a comedy.
Yeah. She was kind of funny in Ocean's 8. Kinda.
I'm sure she's done a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
Very exciting for an actor because it's like whatever she did on that take does not mean she's going to do the same on the net.
Wow.
You filthy old blood!
It's all right. It's just a curious lad, aren't you? I kept on wanting to go, shut up.
She still has
Her
the
with the
teeth in.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Had to be done. And we had a real duel, and they cut the whole lot. Really messed up because I just thought I've been to one school for weeks.
And we were on that set
Oh my
for
God.
days.
Damn.
Days it was in.
It was so quick that he died.
Yeah. I want to see the extended version of it.
I want to see the whole wand fight.
Yeah.
I always say that there was an interesting point for all of us as like younger actors. And Alan, they noticed when we were 10. Or when you came in, by that point, I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
So like you and Gary and David like would treat us more like adults. I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
That like a few of us were like kind of ready to be like, can you push me? Like we want to try and be actors too.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're like Alan, you used to look at them like they're little kids.
Yeah, that's true.
By the time we get to Order of the Phoenix, I felt we needed a director who could handle that in an entertainment.
I want more Umbridge talk.
I went into Order of the Phoenix with the young actors in mind, how we sort of grow the whole thing up and make it a little bit more adult and sort of thematic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he directs the rest of the series at this point.
So he directed 4 of the movies?
Yeah.
Wow.
It needed to.
That's half. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Frightening.
I wonder if initially Christopher Columbus was supposed to do all of them.
All of them? One thing that David and the studio spoke to me about was Emma is not sure she wants to come back to do another Potter.
What? What would, was she not signed to an 8-picture deal?
Yeah.
What she took on and how gracefully she did it. I had my cronies, whereas Emma was not only younger, she was by herself.
Because she was a woman, her girl.
I can see that at times I was lonely.
Oh.
Damn.
As a 14-year-old boy, I was never going to turn around to another 14-year-old and be like, hey, how you doing? Like, is everything okay?
I also had kind of similar feelings to Emma, kind of contemplating what life would be like if I called it a day.
I can't believe that would be an option.
Right.
Going through it at our own pace, we were kind of in the moment at the time, that we were all kind of probably having similar feelings.
The fame thing had finally hit home in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, you're so young.
The fans genuinely wanted you to succeed, and we all genuinely have each other's backs. How great is that?
That's good.
Fandom was different at the time, man.
Yes.
And like the social media issue not being as prevalent.
I've been thinking about something Dumbledore said to me.
What's that?
That even though we've got a fight ahead of us,
I love this one.
My son, Billy, we used to watch them every night. He got the Sunday Night Blues, was watching a Potter movie.
Oh, cool.
I'm really looking forward to watching the films with my hypothetical children.
I was writing to J.K. Rowling.
Outsider's got to be Neville too, right?
Yeah.
Luckily for me, she read the letter and responded to it. So I'm one of the very
Interesting.
few people who can say J.K. Rowling was a pen friend.
So like a PayPal, a pen pal.
That's my ticket. Off we go. Let's go to London. I remember Dan very vividly. It was on my screen test.
So he went for her screen test. That's
I remember
interesting.
him talking to me, and I kept forgetting that I have to talk back to him because I'm so used to watching him on a screen.
Oh.
And I kind of think that contributed to the whole Luna Lovegood vibe.
Yeah, like the airiness
Yeah.
of it all.
Right.
The movies kind of gave people permission to accept parts of themselves. It was quite liberating to see your oddness as a superpower.
Absolutely. Must be liberating, yeah.
We don't know many characters like Luna.
Yeah.
I didn't have a huge amount of friends.
which way you going, Longbottom?
I'll be your friend.
Everyone felt more like they belonged by witnessing these characters that didn't belong.
Bonnie was
When Harry met Ginny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
This relationship never like meant anything to me.
Yeah, I agree. Same here.
Not because anything was wrong with either of them, just
Yeah.
Bonnie was the youngest one. So it was just a bit like, oh, what? This is weird.
yeah, I hear you. I like sensed that.
Yeah.
Reject Nation excited to be shouting out once again Huel Fuel. Huel's the name of the game. I'm not going to pretend that I just discovered Huel for an ad. I genuinely love this stuff. Like, I love the Black Edition ready to drink. We got a bunch in the office. Coin keeps taking them. But the powder ones, the banana flavor and the chocolate are actually my current favorite over the past couple months I've discovered. Because several times a week, I'll mix it with my non-dairy yogurt. Throw some fruit on top, a little bit of brown rice cereal. Taste like pudding. If you guys watch our live streams, I've actually eaten it on stream before. My God. Now I'm craving it right now. Anyway, it's weirdly good pudding, and I used Huel during my cut last year. I just did a Spartan race. It was the first thing I drank after my Spartan race. And Coy, he's been getting into ridiculously great shape because of his wedding. And you've seen him drinking a lot of it on camera here, so you know he'd be using it while cutting as well. But just overall, lifestyle-wise, but especially in summer, routines just fall apart. You got travel. You got barbecues. You got late nights. You got shoots and editing. You all know. And sometimes it's like days you just reaches 2 p.m. and all you've had is coffee and vibes. You need some actual nutrition. And that's why Huel Black Edition Ready to Drink is awesome, because it's efficient, ready to go, and you got a variety of flavors. But also, that's why I love the Huel Black Edition, the powders, because it's a complete meal, not a protein shake. Yeah, it has over 40 grams of protein per serving, 8 grams of fiber, and 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's gluten-free, has no artificial sweeteners or colors, under $3 per meal, and it takes like 30 seconds to make. 1 scoop in cold water. And after you purchase, please fill out the post-checkout survey so they know you came from us. Anyway, guys, if you're looking to just maintain a healthier lifestyle, get some gains, or maybe do some cutting, Huel is just an amazing addition to your life. Limited time offer. You can get 15% off on Huel online with my code REJECTS at Huel.com/rejects. The link in the description box and pinned comment. New customers only, limited time, so don't sit on it. Thank you to Huel for once again partnering, supporting the channel, and for supporting my lifestyle.
Everyone on this set has known you for about 6 or 7 years, and they watch you grow up. And they're now going to just watch you kiss. Cool, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess when they signed up, they didn't even know that this was going to be a love story. Yeah, that's interesting. I always thought that all the books came out before the movies.
Right.
I mean, there's so many amazing female roles.
I am so proud of who
Awkward.
and Katie. They've all become these incredible activists.
Oh, that's cool.
Of those girls was like a lovely, great human being.
She just was probably so separate from them.
Yeah, being the big three, part of big three.
Did you get anything? Because I stole quite a lot.
I'm reassured by that, because I was definitely trying to steal my wand. And I worry that if I had, I probably would have lost it by now somewhere. Doing these incredibly elaborate moves. And
Except one time it did happen with me. This time we are going to blow up Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, you got to do it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Take your cue.
Yeah.
When you do your spell, it will blow up.
Yeah.
And I was actually really surprised. Just pointing my wand there, and then it blew up.
It's a lot more satisfying than making a feather levitate.
Yeah.
Harry is under the impression Draco Malfoy is now a Death Eater.
And he was right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want more Draco. Let's see what happens here.
The child who hasn't received affection, the enabling love of the parent, or can develop this anger and hatred at the world.
Sure.
Be like that in my own house. What Draco's journey is to do with whether he is or isn't trying to please his father.
To attempt the worst thing ever of killing Dumbledore, and obviously we see him.
Struggle, yeah.
Please let me help you.
I don't want your help. I have to do this.
Oh.
Tough scene. Yeah.
You suddenly took this bad guy who in the previous films had always been somewhat two-dimensional.
Right.
And then we were able to give him the opportunity to explore a far more complex and interesting journey.
Definitely.
This is your opportunity to really shine.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Saying if we can get just 1% of empathy or sympathy for him, then we'll have done our job.
And they did.
Yeah.
And we said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Draco breaks the chains of this terrible family, of his responsibility and what he's expected to do. Tom, create that struggle on screen and really manifest all that nuance.
Definitely, yeah.
And all that great ethical minefield that
Respect.
he tiptoes through. It was just so impressive.
Yeah, because he saw him as a kid.
Yeah.
Severus, please. Avada Kedavra.
And that please means something different.
Yeah, it means do it.
It's obviously amazing to be back, but I guess like shocking that we both thought would be around for much longer than they have been, like Helen and Alan and...
They're like family. You can grieve in the same way.
Yeah.
Who is Helen?
And above all those who live without love.
Oh, Draco's mom.
Oh, wow.
She died in 2021. I did not know that. She had breast cancer.
That's tough.
Richard Harris was such a special, warm...
I'm sure they will tell us now. I just can't wait, guys.
Oh, Richard was classic. Probably one of the funniest men I've ever met.
Really?
He was this devilish 11-year-old trapped in a 70-plus-year-old.
Well, babe.
I wonder how heavy that beard is.
Right?
He was brutally hilarious.
Earwax.
Richard Griffiths was just delicious.
There's no such thing.
Oh, he passed in 2013. Wow.
He embraced his wickedness.
He was generous with knowledge. He was just like wanted to share everything.
Oh.
I wondered when I'd be seeing you, Mr. Potter.
He had such little screen time and made such a big impact.
Definitely.
You know, I'll be very, very old one day saying like,
I knew that absolute legend.
Mm-hmm.
Forbade me to speak of this.
I just met the best actress I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
She was phenomenal.
Yeah, she was.
Because she still felt like a mother.
Yeah.
Just so much, frankly, adolescent laughter we were on the set.
And she kind of saved Harry.
Yeah.
She taught me a lot. See, I can't even say it.
Oh.
She had this ability, yeah, just a sort of empathy in her eyes. It was a real treat to work with her.
I can teach you.
Alan Rickman never talked to me like I was a child. He always took my thoughts and opinions very seriously.
Probably respected the heck out of you.
Yeah.
Alan was a very dear friend. We had that final scene, his final scene.
Yeah, that's tough.
It answers to you, does it?
I was a little intimidated by him. We sort of went toe to toe in a funny way, you know, Snape metaphorically fencing with each other. Alan was a magician in that way as an actor.
I bet.
I mean, he's like the greatest ever.
Yeah.
It's that lovers never really leave us. And you can always find them in here.
Oh, this is so sweet.
Yeah.
What a sweet tribute. I'm glad they're doing this part. Oh. Wow, look at how many names.
Yeah, damn.
A lot of people worked on this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, with the light.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this. You're not alone.
The Elder One.
It was a good transition. They did a really good job with that.
The most powerful wand ever made.
Interesting aspect ratio change.
The measures they had taken to protect their family, that they really were going to come with him, and that they knew exactly how dangerous that would be. But he simply could not find words important enough.
I wonder if that's directly from the book.
From the book, yeah. Last two movies.
Cool, and so it is weird, like walking around here and seeing the sets that we were.
Remember my hamster? Did anyone remember my hamster?
Yes.
Millie.
Yeah, I didn't remember the hamster's name. I'm sorry. Having a hamster and being vaguely jealous that you had an animal.
They made a coffin for it, the carpentry department.
Wow.
That designer built Millie her own custom-made wood.
It's so sweet.
Oh, velvet inside.
I was beside myself.
Did we do like a service? I feel like we said a few words.
To pick up dead Millie and like stroke and touch dead Millie.
Oh my god.
Well,
Millie's got to like stay in the coffin now.
So much of this.
It doesn't feel like much time has passed.
I know.
We all still look better than we do in the epilogue, which is great. Like
which is
we've
a
made
win.
it.
I was all full head and the fat suit.
Yeah. Give me the full. Give me the
So
suit.
you went all in.
No one else can really quite understand what we experience. It's a very unique thing.
Remember somebody told us they had to reshoot this?
Yeah.
Really experience this on this scale and we'll be kind of forever bonded by that.
Is there any other movie with children that was this level?
Good question. That has this kind of legacy too.
Yeah.
It's really cold. Like
How old was Elijah Wood? And
Oh, right, in Lord of the Rings.
I think they were older though.
Yeah.
I think we have all fallen asleep like some of the most grand cathedrals and things in the UK.
That's crazy.
if we were doing a stunt, I trusted that one of you would catch me.
I feel like that kind of trust and reliance, and there's very few working environments where you get that much time to build that.
Yeah, that's like a TV show.
Right.
We were each very strong for each other.
These films had a very different feel. We were away from Hogwarts.
Yeah.
The tone was a lot darker. It felt like a different film, I think, because we all got to do some a lot more
I
serious.
wonder if they were reading the books.
Right? I don't.
Must have, right?
Yeah.
To find out what's happening.
I saw you two the other night.
That's nothing. Come on. A scene that I thought was going to be really awkward and I wasn't sure about at all.
I love that scene.
Now, that's one of my favorite scenes from the
I
whole...
love it.
Right.
Because the level of familiarity that you and I had with each other at that point...
First of all, we were doing Harry Potter films, and then on the last movie, the director came in and was like, hey, how about you do slow dancing to Nick Cave for 5 minutes?
I love this scene.
Yeah. Very warm.
But it so could have not worked.
That's true. Yeah.
There's so much said in the scene that was unspoken. I loved that. We were racing through the woods, trying not to be caught by the snatchers.
Being incredibly competitive,
Ridiculously competitive,
about who was going to run faster.
That's cool.
I feel like Rupert was always like a little bit too like, you guys do what you like.
For me, running is a stunt.
That's funny.
So like their characters.
Each other do like a bit of real acting.
Oh, cool. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was really good.
That was, I guess,
Real acting is funny.
Yeah.
I'm Hermione Granger.
Ron Weasley.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Lord Leviosa. She's a nightmare. No wonder she hasn't got any friends.
Oh, that scene.
It was just built up so much for the whole series, and
I love Ron and Hermione's romance.
I did like it too in the end.
Because we're doing the kiss this week between Ron and Hermione.
What?
Doing the kiss between Ron and Hermione. In
This
the
week?
She said, what?
Yeah.
They turn to each other and then they just kiss.
I really liked this.
Yeah.
Spoke to both of them in the trailers, made sure they were both comfortable.
Of course they're not comfortable.
Of course, yeah.
For a major sports event.
So awkward.
Hey guys, you can do this. It's going to be great.
It was meant to be like this dramatic make-out. Like we just kept laughing. And I was just really scared we were never going to get it because we just couldn't take it seriously.
That's hilarious.
Like, I'm gonna come on set and watch you guys kiss.
Because everyone was like, this is going to be good, guys. I knew I was going to kind of have to be the one to kind of make this thing happen because Rupert was not going to
That's fair.
go for it.
Taking no prisoners.
I needed momentum.
Yeah, they literally.
Yeah.
I could, almost on that first take, I saw Rupert's face. Oh, it's only the first take.
kind of think I blacked out. So closer to my...
Oh my god.
So in your head,
So great.
That's hilarious. There you go. Yeah.
I'm so proud of them. Impressed by them. That's hard.
kissing Rupert is one of the hardest things I have ever had to
Sure.
do. It just felt wrong on every level because Dan, Rupert, and I are so much siblings.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh my gosh.
And I gave you the hug to say goodbye. I'll go with you.
Kill the snake.
Yeah, that felt real.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to just bring to the surface really felt about it all coming to an end.
That felt real.
They literally show the entire thing. I'm so lucky that I.
It's a very biblical image carrying Harry across the bridge.
But at this point, I wonder if Hagrid knew Harry was alive.
I owe so much to Neville as a character because I very much was him.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with
The
you.
story of Neville is that he's the champion.
I need more Matthew Lewis in this.
Yeah.
A great speech of Matty's, you know. Good must prevail, of course.
Doesn't matter that Harry's gone.
Oh my god.
People die every day. But you will. Was that it helped me to find at first what I'm not. Freedom!
Yeah.
Takes place in the Great Hall with a huge audience watching. And I really wanted something earthier and more intense.
Oh, interesting.
I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if Dan just grabbed Rafe and pulled him off this tower?
Come on, Tom.
Oh, so that's not in the book.
Yeah.
Together.
As they apparate, they merge together.
And then yeah, their faces merge.
Stories in the films you visualize in that moment before they tumble down into the courtyard.
I wonder if the TV show will make a different choice.
Quite physically tired. We put everything into it. We were exhausted, I think, at the end.
I bet.
My forearm got so tight because this thing that's running current in you that you had to push it back at him.
Oh, yeah.
There was that small pressure of thinking, you're the one who's going to finish this.
Yeah.
Has to deliver.
I can imagine forearm, that's difficult.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Emma Watson.
Rather not be seen like this?
Yeah, she doesn't like the clip in his.
Oh.
Wow. What do you do, Cam? This is your first day. How does it feel?
It feels absolutely fantastic.
So cute.
Okay, get back to work. People need to pamper you.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
Towards the end, it was kind of a weird time, especially kind of finishing. Lost track of who I was and who the character was. I didn't really know who ended or began.
Wow.
You spend so much time.
Weird things, even my name didn't feel like my name.
It feels like you're like a pillar of my life.
It's a strong bond that we'll always have. We will always be part of each other's lives.
Beautiful. I am curious how often they do see each other,
Yeah,
the three
yeah.
of them, or any of them.
Keep in contact or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Like, are they on a text thread?
Yeah.
They probably are, you know?
I love you.
Say it back.
As a friend.
Just to be clear, for everyone watching.
There's so much love.
Thanks, Rubes.
Why didn't you say it back?
Oh, yeah.
One of the last shots we did, entire shoot.
Diving past the camera and landing on this huge crash mat.
It was such a metaphor for what was actually
That
happening.
was the last scene?
We
Okay.
had to like jump onto a mat, basically.
The collective emotion was incredibly palpable. For the people who'd supported them and
Oh.
everybody who'd seen them grow up.
Warwick Davis. Oh.
How many people are on set?
Yeah.
Utterly devastated. I think it was the first time we'd allowed ourselves to, we'd done it.
What a wild moment.
Yeah.
I measure my life with these movies. When did you pass your driving test? I'm like, Order of the Phoenix.
That's so cool.
Is connected to Potter. When I meet people who it's a really important part of their life, yeah, it just makes you really proud. I don't think I fully appreciated the reach that these films had.
You were a kid. How could you?
Right.
We can't talk about anything else, and like we watch Harry Potter together, and that's been our thing.
It's amazing to...
That's cool.
And just seeing it kind of relive on and finding new living forever, and it's amazing to...
They must have thought it was interesting that Fantastic Beasts just not do as well. They're like, yeah.
The stories told within them, the individual characters' journeys. That's magic.
Are you and Neville still together?
And it's an epic journey that every child goes on. Stay close to me. Until the end.
And it's a beautiful world.
Harry.
Harry.
I find it to be awkward every time I see her.
Yeah, same.
People who otherwise...
Not Helena.
No, of course
Her
not.
I like to see. Oh, Neville.
Come up and say hello to me now, weren't even born when we made the film.
That's crazy.
What a trip.
Quickly makes you feel slightly older.
I bet.
And very grateful that it's being passed down to other generations.
Get to see young children grow into adults.
Definitely,
This producer absolutely annihilated.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know if we'll ever see it again.
My children are grown up, Jury, of course.
Finest gamekeeper in Hogwarts, last day on Harry Potter.
Oh.
and that's a wrap. Oh.
The movies is that my children's generation will show them to their children. I'll not be here, sadly. But
Oh, man.
don't you think on it for 1 minute. But Hagrid will, yes.
Oh, he's so sweet.
It was a great time. It really was. It was...
Amazing experience, and that I can't really explain to you. Like, they're such good people.
Imagine if she hadn't returned.
I know. They'd have to recast or something.
There are people on these films that are foundational to who I am.
How could you not get emotional if you're one of them?
To be where I am and to have the
Alan
life
Rickman.
I have, and it was a very good 10 years.
10 years.
A decade of your life.
Yeah. Frick.
It's crazy because if you're lucky, you get 8 decades, 9
Right.
decades, 10 decades at
Yeah.
most. For this to be over 10% of your life.
Yeah.
Like,
For all this time. Always.
oh.
Ends on that. Yeah.
Great job with that. Really, really strong 20 years later. Really happy that you and I did not have to wait 20 years
I know.
to get to that.
Just a week.
Just in case there's any kind of special thing, we'll let this play out.
Sure.
But a couple of things that I want to tell you guys at home. First of all, thank you so much for going on this journey with us. If you would be so kind, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about all this. Is there something else you want to see us cover together?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the Harry Potter show? What are you guys hoping for there? I think that you said it's coming this December, so
Yeah.
a lot going on there. Shout out to Patreon. Thank you for helping edit this stuff down. And a huge special thanks. That's to Prepper. Sorry, I said shout out to Patreon. That's a shout out to Prepper. This is a shout out to Patreon, patreon.com/therealrejects. That's where you can sync up with your own copy. That's where Greg and John cover stuff exclusively. That is where you can get discounts on our sweet merch, rejectnationshop.com. What you got on? Yeah, classics. All right, I guess that's it. Holy crap. Crazy. And also follow us on social media at Real Rejects. I think after this, I'm going to have us do a ranking.
Sounds good.
So if you guys want to see that, go on over. Why do I always insist on sitting like this? I just can't help it, guys. It is what it is. Just love me for who I am or not. That's your choice too.
Oh, that's easy.
We are going to take questions from Patreon. I'm guessing there's Patreon questions for this.
I believe so.
I don't know because we had to change the shooting schedule last minute.
Yeah.
let's see, before I say that, so we know what kind of a review we should do up top. Stick with us, kiddos, while I vamp as we do this. Hold on. Command effing Harry Potter. All right. That's Goblet of Fire. Let's scroll way the F down. Otherwise, we're going to just tell you guys our thoughts, just seeing if there is any. Let me go. The reunion special. Okay. But it's for Wednesday. Yeah. We didn't give you guys any time. So we're just going to guess what it is that you guys would have asked.
Fair.
And then we are going to try to do that. All right.
Yes,
so
definitely.
a
Go
deeper dive into our review
Yeah.
of this. And also we can use the extra time to kind of look up things that we
Sure.
didn't have.
Right.
Okay. So I know before I go into that deeper dive, how'd you feel about the special?
The special is really heartwarming. It was produced really well.
Was it what you expected?
Kind of, to a certain degree. Yeah, I think I knew that it was gonna hit, a certain or strike a certain emotional chord for sure. Just because even though our journey has been the past few weeks.
I think a couple months. No, has it only been?
It's been. I guess so. Yeah, it would have been like 2 months total.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense, right? Four weeks in a month, 8 movies, so it'd be 2 months total. Yeah, so that being the situation, it still hit. It still hit that emotional chord of like, wow, it all culminated to this one, the last 2 movies, and then from there to jump to the reunion still felt like a crazy reunion because we see our actors very aged and whatnot, and so it was
old as fuck.
Sure,
our age,
that's
very
Roxy.
aged.
Roxy's words, not mine.
I'm just kidding.
No, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was cool to revisit all of it all in like one package and to find out these little things, these little trivial facts of behind the scenes was also very entertaining and fun and cool. But yeah, enjoyable nonetheless. I was emotionally moved to a certain degree, and that's what I was hoping for. Just because, again, 8 movies, 10 years, that's gnarly. So
yeah, that's crazy. When you're a kid and like you're having to go through school on set and all of that.
Yeah,
I kind of wish, I love this special, but I kind of wish there were certain things that they talked about more that I'm super curious about.
Fair.
Like, what was their on set life like? We heard that some things were fun, but like, we only heard one thing, like, can you draw God? And he, like what was the school aspect of it? Like, what was it like when they would go out in public? Like, what was it like? What's it like now that this is on social media? Was there any drama on set? Like, and like you kind of get a sense of the Alfonso Cuarón, like that was felt very different then. And which is their favorite movie now looking back? Like all these questions that I still have, but of course they already put in 1 hour and 40 minutes. So there was some stuff that we couldn't know. But overall, obviously this hits way more home and is way more poignant now that I've watched it. I can't believe that I watched this 4 years ago. And none of it landed for me except for all I remembered was being like, it's weird that JK she didn't shoot for this, but they still used footage of hers, and I feel like they were stuck between a rock and a hard place with that. But also I remember thinking like, oh, there's a lot of love there. But none of the specific scenes, I didn't know who any of the characters really were, so that didn't like impact me. And now watching it, I'm like, oh my god, wow, of course shooting this felt like this and felt like this. All right, because I'm a lover of love shipper ships.
Let's go.
All right. Bonnie Wright and Jamie Campbell Bower. That's the guy that was from Stranger Things that I pointed out was from Stranger Things. But okay, they met on Deathly Hallows and they dated in 2009 and they got engaged in 2011, but then they broke up in 2012.
Oh wow, who's Bonnie?
Bonnie Wright was the one. They just showed her like 10 times. What is the name of Bonnie Wright? Is Ginny.
Oh.
It's crazy that I couldn't just come up with her name. Ginny.
Gotcha.
Ivana Lynch and Robbie Jarvis. I know that Ivana Lynch is Luna, but who is Robbie Jarvis? They were dating. Who's Robbie Jarvis? Let's find out. This probably isn't relevant to you guys, but I get curious about this stuff.
Same. I would be too. Yeah.
I don't know who I don't even recognize him from the movies, but he was in them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they separated in 2016.
Oh.
Tom Felton dated a girl named Jade Olivia, who was an assistant on set.
Oh.
and briefly appeared as Malfoy's wife in the final film's epilogue.
Oh,
that's interesting.
That's cool.
But then they split in 2016. Oh, and Helena Bonham Carter and Kenneth Branagh. Before they joined the franchise, they dated in the 90s. That's interesting, too.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't care about that stuff, then you don't care about that stuff. But they mentioned in this, so I thought that it'd be relevant to kind of look up. I really enjoyed hearing about Hermione and, or hearing about Emma and Tom's relationship.
Yes.
I'm so curious. Like, are they close friends now, or what? But, there must have been there must be a reason they were asked about it. And there must be a reason she was like, we never did, because fans must have thought or something. Which is kind of interesting to me. But yeah, that was a cute part of this as well. I'm curious if there's other tea on this, but go ahead, ask your question.
No, yeah, I would, going back to the Tom Felton and Emma Watson thing, they mentioned that they are 3 years apart, or he's 3 years older.
Mm-hmm.
When you're younger, that age gap does seem a little different than when you're an adult.
Of course.
Right? Like that's
age the gap, big bro little sister gap.
You're a freshman in high school, that's a senior in high school, right? Like there's to a certain degree. Right? So I'd imagine if there was anything, it would have happened in adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume, but who knows? I don't know. It seemed very like open-ended. Like Emma Watson didn't reveal everything, but maybe, I don't know. That would have been like lovely and cool and charming and stuff. But yeah, that was interesting.
It's so beautiful, the respect they all clearly had for each other in this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. On IMDb, I'm curious if there's any trivia that they list for this. I love looking at IMDb's trivia for movies. I'm curious if they have it for the special. Okay, yeah, they do. So much of the special is filmed on the original movie sets, which are now part of the Harry Potter studio tour in Leavesden, England, which opened in 2012.
Okay.
So after the movies, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Robbie Coltrane's last media appearance before his death, it was in October of 2022. So that's who plays Hagrid.
Yeah.
And he passed in 2022. This came out in 2022.
So around that time. Damn.
Rupert Grint was shooting Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities in Canada and couldn't travel to England to film the special. Crew filmed him in Canada, and in the scenes where he talked with Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, he was edited in to make it look like he was present in the same space as them, though the two were speaking with him through a video call. In the scenes where Rupert Grint talks solely with Emma Watson, however, she traveled to Canada to film with him.
Oh, wow.
That's wild that he wasn't
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's a trip.
They did a good job with that.
Yeah.
I did not notice.
Yeah.
In the Harry Potter 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts special, there was an amusing mix-up with the childhood photograph, supposedly of Emma Watson, who played Hermione Granger. There's actually a picture of actress Emma Roberts as a child. This error was quickly spotted by fans. It became a delightful detail shared widely on social media. Warner Brothers later acknowledged the mistake and corrected the scene.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
That's hysterical. Okay, this one says spoilers. The Harry Potter 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts special reunited most of the entire main cast, including Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, along with many other actors and directors. However, the author of the series, J.K. Rowling, only appeared through brief archival footage filmed in 2019. Was not directly present in interviews. Her absence sparked much discussion among the fandom in the media. Remember, that was specifically what I was asked to cover. I think at this time, Emma Watson had already spoken out against J.K.'s beliefs, at least. I know that all of them had been asked about it, and everybody tried to navigate it a little differently.
Sure.
I wonder if certain people said they wouldn't be involved with this if she was, or whether they thought the studio thought it would lose the money, or whether J.K. didn't want to come. I'm kind of curious. I know that J.K. is heavily involved in the television show, so clearly she still wants to be part of the franchise. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Okay, factual errors and goofs in this. Let's see. James Phelps and Oliver Phelps, the actors who played the Weasley twins, Fred and George, who were interviewed only together for the special, had their names and accordingly characters attributed in the reverse order of their seating place. An error which coincidentally resembles the running gag of one Weasley getting mistaken for the other in the universe.
Interesting. That's funny.
Okay, so the Emma Roberts thing was at 5 minutes and 49 seconds in. They used Emma Roberts in Minnie Mouse ears instead of Emma Watson, but we didn't see that because they ended up changing that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Was there anything else when we were watching it that really stood out to you, or anybody that you wish we saw more of, less of?
I think you pointed out one thing is that I wanted the actors to talk about Alfonso Cuarón. Like they barely even met. Like I don't think.
Why do you think that was?
Good question. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on that.
Let me see. I'm just gonna Google. Did the actors on Harry Potter like Alfonso Cuarón?
Right. It seemed like he was a
No, I'm sure that they would have said otherwise, but it's like maybe he just was, because he said the tone was darker and more serious. Like he maybe came in with just a very different tone.
Yeah, maybe more intense or something.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also fascinating because that was like maybe your favorite movie and one of mine too. Okay, this says, yes, the Harry Potter actors largely loved working with Alfonso Cuarón. This is just AI's quick answer about it. Yeah, they more talked about the homework that he has to do. He did a great job. So
also another thing that I think would be, I think the answer would be no, but because a lot of the sets are still alive and around, they're not going to use it for the television show, right?
No, I don't think so. I think they've got to make their own. Yeah. I don't think so. How do you feel about the television show? Like, did this make you excited for that, or did this make you be like, "What the hell are they gonna do?"
I am genuinely curious of how they're going to differentiate themselves, right? Because I didn't read the books. I'm curious of like what I will now discover, because it's going to either explain more because it's taking a very direct kind of adaptation from the book, or even elongate certain storylines or add certain story points that they didn't have time for the films. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, like the things that fans wrote into us that we were like, what? That kind of stuff would be really interesting to see kind of more of. Yeah.
And what's a trip? You've seen the trailer for the TV show, right?
Yeah.
It looks a little more grounded. I know that sounds like a weird adjective to use for a Harry Potter description, but like this is the best way I can put it. If the movies is what Tim Burton 89's Batman is,
okay,
the TV show looks like what Matt Reeves is doing for his Batman. It just aesthetically and like a little more serious. There is still whimsy and whimsical kind of energy, but it's very muted to a point where I'm a little more curious now because that's kind of my cup of tea. But yeah, I'm genuinely curious. I would love to cover it for the channel. That'd be cool to revisit with you, and we can just do the series. That'd be pretty cool.
Let's spend some time looking up what Neville's up to.
Of course we have to do that.
Matthew Lewis, what are you up to? Okay, he did a film this year called Touche. Don't know it.
Okay.
Murders Before Evensong. That was last year. Don't know it. 2024. Avoidance. Don't know it. Gosh, I gotta go deep into
you have
this.
Homework to do.
I really do. He did this movie that I don't like called Me Before You in 2016, but I don't remember him being in it. So I've got to look back into that. That's the Amelia Clarke movie, but that movie did not do it for me. Yeah, wow. I mean, gosh, I would love to see a lot of these actors in other things now. Like even Tom Felton, I'm like, I would really love to see him. Oh, he did the Planet of the Apes
one.
Yeah.
He did the very first one, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He did a movie this year called They Will Kill You. They've all worked. I think it's so hard to be known for anything other than this. The only movie that Emma Watson, I feel like she did do a bunch of stuff, but Rupert Grint, I remember seeing in the cabin at the the cabin.
M. Night movie?
Yep, exactly. Knock at the Cabin, yeah. And he did a great job in that, I thought.
I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, I mean, I would imagine.
He was in an Ed Sheeran music video recently. Rupert Grint was called
cool.
A Little More.
But yeah, Tom Felton, he was in. You just mentioned it. They Will Kill You. I'm curious about the movie that came out this year.
Oh.
Zazie Beetz. It's like a horror action movie. Yeah, I remember seeing him in the trailer, and I was like, oh shoot, okay.
I wonder if they asked Robert Pattinson to be in this special.
Yeah.
And if he was like, no.
I'm okay. Or
I'm Batman.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm Batman.
No, I'm Batman. This is 2022, so I don't know that he knew that he was Batman yet, but we don't know.
No, yeah, 2020. Like they filmed the Batman
in 2023.
No, they filmed it in before COVID.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the movie released in 2022.
I thought it released in 23, but what you just said sounds more right. Hold on, let's see. The Batman came out in 2022. You're right. Yep. Okay. So yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
I'm sure.
I also don't want to be associated with any more fandoms than I have to be at this point.
Fair.
He probably. But listen, wow, that's really crazy.
Yes.
From Harry Potter to Twilight to Batman.
Yeah.
And not even to mention all of the indie projects he's done in between, but like to be part of those three major fandoms, the only person who like successfully has been as big in his fandom and significantly bigger is Harrison Ford, like being part of such huge. I'm sure there are other people.
Yeah.
It was cool how much Helena Bonham Carter and Gary Oldman were in this, and that they wanted to come back, or Ralph Fiennes, or Jason Isaacs.
Yes.
That was all really
Yeah.
interesting to see that they all took this seriously to come back and
Definitely.
like really talk so positively about the
Right, right.
experience. And how many of them were like my nieces and my nephews and my
Yeah.
kids and da da da.
Yeah, that was heartwarming for
It was
sure.
so hard to not see
Yeah.
Alan Rickman there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I know.
And the actual thing ends with Snape's like, scene. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, any other thoughts before we get out of here?
looking forward to whatever we embark on next. I'm assuming if not like the TV show in Christmas era or like the December time, we do another franchise.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What will it be? That's
I don't know.
for us to not know and you to tell us.
Yeah.
Yep, really strong words. Wingardium Leviosa, and we will see you for whatever comes next. Later, Ejects.
Yeah.